Welcome back to the garage, guys. I'm Damien, and this is the Binder Builder. Today, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, which means I'm going to share with you my vision for my bug and what I'd like it to look like when everything is said and done. We got to be honest. All of our projects, whether we're doing it ourselves or having a shop do it for us, all of us have ups and downs in the build process. Budget, free time, competing goals, and unexpected setbacks like the accident I outlined in the last video. All of these things can and will derail us from time to time. In this video, I'd like to show you how I deal with the whole question of motivation. You know, for most of my life when I'm building things, I always kind of imagine it in my head. It's like what Stephen Covey would say, begin with the end in mind. I always like to picture it. I'm no Chip Foose by any means, but I do like to sketch out, if you will, each project, kind of some of my ideas, and just kind of see how I like it. I hate to say it that way. I'm not the best artist in the world, but hey, I do what I can. Now Snoopy, I don't have my drawings anymore. It was many, actually decades ago, but you can see where I started out and how it grew into a small lift, then a bigger lift, and then finally 38.5-inch tires. It was a big build over multiple years. And it was like that with my second Scout, Rusty. It was supposed to be a nice, clean, daily driven shop truck that kind of showed off some of the stuff that I do to Scouts. But then I realized how rusty it was. Then the wheels in my head started turning. Oh, if I'm not going to make it into a daily driver shop truck, what can I do with it? Here's the initial drawing of what I'd like to turn it into. And here is what it ended up like when I was done. And it was like that with the Baja Bug as well. When I started researching them online, I started to form in my mind kind of what I wanted it to look like, and true to form, I drew something out. Just a little sketch of sorts, kind of some of the features that I really wanted to have on it. A-arm suspension, coilover shocks, light bars, all that fun stuff. And I started building the bug to that thought, that idea, basically that image I drew out on the sketch pad. So when I actually finally launched the YouTube channel, The Binder Builder, I set out to find a logo for it. I ran into a guy's profile on Instagram, AJ, over at nation.illustration, and he had drawn up a couple of Scouts. I'm a Scout guy, I just am. So he had drawn up a couple of Scouts, and I really liked the work that he did. And I thought to myself, hey, if I send him a picture of my Scout, he could make up a quick little image. I'll turn it into a logo, and presto, I would have a logo for my YouTube channel. So I sent him over this picture, and I ended up with this illustration, which is, of course, is now my YouTube logo. That's when I had an idea. Now, I've always been kind of like taking pictures and screenshotting and things of that nature, various products and things that I wanted to put on the bug. And so I was collecting all this stuff. So I asked him, I said, hey, do you do renderings? If I were to send you some pictures of bugs that I want mine to look like, as well as the products I want to put on my bug, do you think you could put it into one thing? And he said, no, not really. But if you contact another guy that he knew, he could do it. Well, this other guy was Adam, and he runs Box Rocket Designs. Now, Box Rocket Designs and Adam, he's actually a real digital artist. He's not just doing cartoon-style drawings of cars. His renderings actually look like they could be actual vehicles. He takes a picture of your vehicle, and he makes it however you'd like it to be. So I gathered all my pictures, all of the pictures of the product, all the product that I already had. I also sent over a couple of pictures of the bugs that have really influenced my build, particularly the ones with the right stance and the right look, just the things that I really enjoyed about them, and kind of said, I want something like this, but with all this other stuff instead. And then I allowed him to work his magic. And next thing you know, I got my final rendering. Are you ready to see it? Here it is. I hope I'm not going too overboard with this rendering, but look at this thing. The suspension, the wing, the engine, the exhaust, all taken from the images I sent him. I'll be honest, what really floored me about the rendering was it's freaking huge. And if you zoom in on it, you can get detail all the way down to the nuts and bolts on the roof rack. Look at these wheels. I have the Ultra X103s beadlocks, and he literally recreated them down to the logo on one of the spokes. It is crazy. I sent him a picture of my off-road lights and he literally recreated them. These are my actual off-road lights. Even my frameless windows are in there. He recreated my light bar down to the mounts. And even the likeness of the front bumper I plan on building. Now, this is an obvious nod to the Terrible Hearst Landshark Truggy. That bumper, that car, that's just a cool car, man. So I had to give a nod to him. This is fun. Even the coilovers have the exact logo as mine do. I mean, this rendering is truly epic. I'll be honest with you, I am looking forward to turning it into a t-shirt. Basically something I could wear while I'm working on the Bug, going to shows or what have you. Just basically a logo, if you will, just like the Binder Builder logo on YouTube. I want to turn this into another logo, a Bug version of my Binder Builder logo. So literally, this is how I overcome my burnout. Whenever I have downtimes, and we all have downtimes, I like to remind myself of who I am to God, my family, and it's the same thing with this build. Whenever I get kind of burnt out or just like, oh, it's too hot to go out in the garage, I like to take a look at this picture. And then all of a sudden it becomes easier to kind of pick myself up and go out into the garage and do the stuff that I sometimes would rather not do. Anyway, I don't know how you guys get through your setbacks and so forth, but perhaps if you don't have a good way to get through, you can borrow this strategy. Go get yourself a drawing of your car or your buggy, way you want it, and use that. It works for me. Anyway, thanks for watching. I truly appreciate all the time you guys and kind of dealing with how slow this build is going. Believe me, I wanted to go faster too. But with that, please do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Comment if you will, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Damien, and this is the Binder Builder.